Dr. Patrick Kumabuaji there. Now, the minority in Parliament is questioning the basis of government's decision to charge travellers into Ghana $150 for COVID-19 testing. The minority spokesperson on transport, Kwame Agboja, says the figure is on the high side as several other countries are charging less or nothing at all. He's questioning why a private company is leading the testing instead of Noguchi Memorial Institute. Joseph Opoku-Gakpo joins me with more. Hello, Joseph. What do they say they'll be doing about the cost?
Kwame Agboja, who is the minority spokesperson on transport, says they are beginning their concerns in terms of raising them by, first of all, demanding answers from government and, for that matter, the officials at the level of the Kotoka International Airport. He says they've seen figures that show that for a lot of other nations, the charge for testing is far less. He makes the point that in some of the countries, it's actually at a zero cost. He says they have questions about how come it's a private entity that's leading the testing. He says the Noguchi Memorial Institute, which has been at the forefront of the nation's testing, could have actually led the processes. And even if the figures were this high, then whatever money that accrues will amount to money that they would have used to build up their resources and go ahead and engage in the necessary processes to procure more equipment. So they think that this is something that government should be responding to more questions on. And they, although Parliament is currently on recess, they are looking at other possible avenues to get the aviation officials and also the health ministry to respond to questions on these.
Are they providing any specific examples? I mean, in general terms, they talk about how less some other countries are charging, but are there specific examples that they want to compare, with which they want to compare Ghana?
Kwame Agboja says some of the nations, as per the details that they've gotten, although he wasn't very specific with some of those nations, he says in some of the areas it's a lot less, and he mentions $30 as the charge that some of the nations are actually charging for the testing. And even for some of the places, he says it's actually zero. He thinks that the cost build up to the $150 is very much on the high side, and that it could have been less, all other things being equal, but for the fact that it's actually a process that's being run by private individuals.
Interesting. What actually brought up this conversation in Parliament, Joseph? I'm curious.
Mr. Agboja has actually been asking the question. You know, Parliament is not sitting at the moment.
Yeah.
Parliament is currently on break. They are on recess. They'll be back sometime in the middle of October. Mr. Agboja makes the observation that they have been monitoring the situation since government announced the necessary plans in terms of reopening the borders of the country. And they very much at the minority level appreciate the efforts that government is actually making to make the nation safe, even as we welcome travelers. But they think from their monitoring, these are questions that require answers in terms of the charges that are being put out, the $150, which is why they are voicing it out.
Joseph, thank you very much for that update. Joseph Opoku-Gakpo, South Parliamentary Affairs correspondent there.